Chances are you will go through your entire working career and never have to use a fire extinguisher. Chances are you will never have to use one while on the road, but there should be one in your vehicle. Have you inspected it lately? Close your eyes for a second. Can you point to the nearest fire extinguisher? Where is the second nearest one? No matter where you happen to be, you should always know the location of the nearest extinguisher. Go take a look at it. Has it been inspected? Fire extinguishers should be inspected regularly and at least once a month. Even if your company inspects them, you should look them over to make sure they meet 3 requirements. 1. Is the extinguisher charged? The pressure should always be at the recommended level. On extinguishers equipped with a gauge, the needle should be in the green zone, not too high and not too low. 2. Are all extinguishers mounted correctly? The top of an extinguisher should never be mounted higher than 60 inches above the floor surface, and the bottom of an extinguisher should never be closer than 4 inches above the floor. They should never be used as door props or paperweights. They are not coat hangers or tool hooks. 3. Are they unobstructed and easily accessed? Never place anything in front of a fire extinguisher. In the event of an emergency, we can't waste time trying to find the extinguisher that's hidden by a box or impossible to reach because it's behind a piece of equipment. Most fire standards recommend that a clear and unobstructed path to the extinguisher be maintained at all times, with the access being at least 2 to 3 feet wide. They cannot be hidden behind doors, cabinets, or anything else. There are 2 important things to remember if you ever need to use an extinguisher. First, make sure that you never place yourself in a position where the fire is between you and a safe exit. Keep the fire in front of you and the safe exit at your back. And second, remember the PASS system. Pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. When you need to use the extinguisher, first pull the safety pin from the handle. Then, aim the extinguisher nozzle at the base of the fire. This is the spot where the flames are touching the fuel source. Next, squeeze the handle to activate the extinguisher. And finally, sweep the spray back and forth across the target. Continue until the fire is out. If you are unsure that you can put the fire out, evacuate the area. Thanks for watching.
The fire triangle is a simple model used to understand the ingredients necessary for most fires. The triangle illustrates that a fire requires 3 elements: heat to reach ignition, temperature, fuel or combustible material to feed the fire, and oxygen to sustain combustion. Together they produce the chemical reaction that is fire. The fire is prevented or extinguished by removing any one of the 3 elements. Keep fuel and ignition sources separate. A fire naturally occurs when the elements are combined in the right mixture. Fires are classified according to the type of fire that's burning. Basically, what type of material is on fire, i.e., paper, grease, electrical equipment? It's very important to understand the 4 different fires or fuel source classifications. Understanding this will allow you to correctly use the right fire extinguisher. If you were to use the wrong type fire extinguisher on the wrong class of fire, you may not be able to control or even extinguish the fire. Most fire extinguishers will have a picture label telling you which types of fires the extinguisher is designed to fight. For example, a simple water extinguisher might have a label like this, which means it should only be used for Class A fires, such as paper or weeds, dry grass. Different types of fire extinguishers are designed to fight different classes of fires. The 3 most common types of fire extinguishers are the water Class A, carbon dioxide extinguishers, which are CO2, Class B and C. Then you have dry chemical Class ABC, which is the kind that we use most here at W.C. Striegel. And then there's a new class called the wet chemical fire extinguisher, Class K, which is designed to fight commercial kitchen grease fires. The pressurized water fire extinguisher is a Class A fire extinguisher used on Class A fires only. We use the Indian type brand here at W.C. Striegel. They build pressure by using a hand pump. They generally hold about 2.5 gallons and have about a 30 to 40 foot maximum effective range. Class A fire extinguishers work by cooling burning material below the ignition point, taking away the heat element from the fire. The carbon dioxide fire extinguisher, which is also sometimes filled with halon, is used around electrical components. We use them in our computer room upstairs. They have no pressure gauge. Their capacity or the volume inside them is verified by weight. These extinguishers extinguish fires by smothering the burning materials, displacing the oxygen, and thereby killing the fire. Their maximum effective range is just 3 to 8 feet. Now we come to the multi-purpose dry chemical fire extinguisher. This is the one that we use most often here at W.C. Striegel. It's a class A, B, or C. You will find it in 2.5 to 20-pound canisters of ammonium phosphate, pressured between 50 and 200 psi by nitrogen gas. The smaller units will last maybe 8 seconds. The larger ones, the 20-pound canisters, will last about 25 seconds worth of discharge time. It has a pressure gauge to allow visual capacity check to make sure that they're still in the green when you're inspecting them, and they have a 5 to 20 foot maximum effective range. These extinguishers work by smothering burning materials. This separates the fuel from the oxygen in the air, basically blanketing it and smothering it from oxygen. The last fire extinguisher we're going to discuss today is used in Class K fires. It's a relatively new fire extinguisher used in commercial kitchens. It has 1.5 gallons of stored pressurized PRX wet chemical agent, and its discharge time is about 40 seconds, with a maximum effective range of about 10 to 12 feet. This extinguisher fights fires by cooling and forming a foam blanket to prevent the fire from reigniting. We should all be aware of the parts of a fire extinguisher and what to look for during an inspection. First, you'll see the discharge lever, discharge locking pin and seal, the discharge nozzle, the discharge orifice, the pressure gauge, the carrying handle, the data plate, and the body. Knowing the location and condition of these parts will be important during an inspection. Okay, now let's remember how to use a fire extinguisher. If you can remember this easy acronym, you'll have no problem using the fire extinguisher. The acronym is PASS. First, P, pull the pin. Then A, aim the nozzle. The first S is squeeze the handle. The second S is sweep side to side at the base of the fire. Pass. Remember, the first letter in the acronym is P for pass, which stands for pull the pin. This will allow you to discharge the fire extinguisher. The pin prevents the fire extinguisher from being accidentally discharged by squeezing the handle. Next, we will aim at the base of the fire, preferably about 6 inches below or under the fuel to keep from blowing or scattering the fuel around. However, if you aim at the flames, the extinguishing agent will fly right through without stopping the fire. So aim at the base of the fire. Now, squeeze the top of the handle. Squeezing the handle opens a valve that releases the pressurized extinguishing agent from the fire extinguisher. Then the last S for pass is sweep from side to side until the fire is completely out. Start using the fire extinguisher from a safe distance, 6 to 8 feet away, then slowly move forward if possible. Once the fire is out, keep an eye on the area in case it reignites. Please remember these guidelines for fighting fires. Fires can be very dangerous, and you should always be certain that you will not endanger yourself or others when attempting to put out a fire. For this reason, when a fire is discovered, number 1, assist any person in immediate danger to safety, if it can be accomplished without risk to yourself. Do not put yourself in danger too. Number 2, call 911 or activate building fire alarm. The fire alarm will notify other people in the surrounding area of the danger so that they might evacuate that area. If the fire is small, and only after having done these 2 things may you attempt to use an extinguisher to put it out. Before deciding to fight the fire, keep these things in mind. Know what's burning. If you don't know what's burning, you won't know what kind of fire extinguisher to use. Even if you have an ABC fire extinguisher, there may be something in the fire that's going to explode or produce toxic fumes. Chances are you will know what's burning, or at least have a pretty good idea, but if you don't, let the fire department handle it. Is the fire spreading rapidly beyond the point of where it started? The time to use a fire extinguisher is the beginning stages of the fire. If the fire is already spreading quickly, it's best to simply evacuate the building. As you evacuate the building, close the door, if there is one, behind you as you leave. This will help to slow down the spread of smoke and fire. I have one final rule for you to consider, and that is to always position yourself with an exit or means of escape at your back before you attempt to use a fire extinguisher or to put out a fire. In case the fire extinguisher malfunctions or something unexpected happens, you need to be able to get out quickly. You don't want to become trapped and become another victim.